Greetings to all and welcome to this channel. In this recording, I would like to share with you some reflections on a subject that unfortunately affects each one of us. Waking up in the morning, most of us are faced with a lack of enthusiasm to head to work or school. Day after day, we eagerly await the moment to wrap up our work responsibilities and return home to relax until the next day. Often our minds are fixed on the weekend, longing for its arrival. Mondays in particular tend to be a day of general dislike, since they symbolize the beginning of a new week full of tasks and duties to face. This uncomfortable feeling can lead many people to spend their days without motivation, lacking interest in any activity. Within the context of Stoicism, an ancient philosophy, Marcus Aurelius delved into this matter in his Meditations. Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor who ruled from 161 to 180, was one of the most influential figures of his time. He kept a personal journal in which he recorded his daily reflections, which was published as Meditations many years after his death. One of his notes resonates especially. When you face difficulties getting out of bed in the morning, remember this: you have a responsibility to go to work like a human being. Why should you complain if you are fulfilling the purpose for which you were born, or were you just born to snuggle under the covers and keep warm? Through this observation, Marcus Aurelius maintains an internal dialogue. He asks if it is more comfortable to stay in bed than to work, and he answers that if you were born for comfort, where is the evidence that plants, birds, ants, spiders, and bees perform their natural tasks? These beings contribute to the order of the world, each performing their role in the best possible way. The reflection continues. Are you not willing to comply with what is expected of you as a human being? Yes, you need to sleep at some point, but nature has set limits for it, just as it did for eating and drinking. You have already rested enough. Marcus Aurelius questions our relationship with ourselves. Don't you love yourself enough? If you did, you would also love your own nature and what it implies. Those who love their actions dedicate themselves to them with intensity, forgetting even to take care of their hygiene or feeding. The author compares our attitude toward our responsibilities to the dedication of an artist to his work. Do you have less respect for your nature than a sculptor for his sculpture, a dancer for his dance, or a miser for his wealth? Those who are truly committed with what they do, they sacrifice even their basic needs before abandoning their artistic practices. Marco Aurelio, when speaking of work, refers to all the actions and duties that are part of the daily life of a human being. Through his reflection, he invites us to take responsibility for our time and our actions. Let's consider how these teachings can be applied to our lives. As human beings, we are not meant to be passive or lacking in responsibilities. Let's follow the example of Marcus Aurelius, and remember that momentary gratifications should not cloud our judgment. The satisfaction of fulfilling our tasks and responsibilities surpasses any ephemeral pleasure. It is essential that we rise up, face our duties, and engage in the present moment, as the future is uncertain. Just as Marcus Aurelius recorded these words in his diary to remind himself of them daily, we too can adopt this practice. When the lack of motivation assails us in the morning, when facing difficult tasks, or when suffering the typical aversion to Mondays, let us remember his words. Do we agree with the perspective of Marcus Aurelius? Do we have strategies to combat negative thoughts of this type? I look forward to his responses and comments. The teachings of Stoicism offer many valuable lessons, like this one, that we can apply to our everyday lives. I invite you to explore more about this philosophy and keep learning.